Welcome back, everyone, to the Student Tech Revolution Conference for students by students. And I am your host for today, day number 3, the last day of this year's conference, Malaya Moon. That's me. I am the co-founder and president of the Google Developer Student Club here at Howard University. And we'd like to welcome you back to our last day of the conference. So today's theme is be a visionary, embrace your identity, and fulfill your passion. Throughout the sessions today, they will be the embodiment of today's theme. So we hope you enjoy and get some valuable advice, and make sure you're taking notes because they will be dropping gems throughout today's sessions. So for today's schedule, we have our last panel number 5, talking about their tech social influencer experience and what it's like for them to be a tech social influencer as well. And we'll also have our last workshop today, which is surrounded around building your personal brand and content creation with Maya. And we'll end it all off with our keynote speaker with Ernest Holmes. So let's go ahead and jump into our panels session. So let's start it off with introductions. Today we have with us Trey Ho. Trey is a software developer from Trotwood, Ohio. He received his bachelor's from Northern Kentucky University in computer science and has been a software developer for over 7 years now. He's worked with both mobile and web applications using technologies like Swift, Java, Angular, and React. He worked mainly for consulting firms in locations including Denver, Colorado, and Los Angeles, California. Since his introduction to Flutter back in 2018, he has created 7 mobile apps in Flutter and now runs an Instagram and YouTube channel where he teaches what he knows about Flutter as well. And we also have with us today Diamond Jenner, also known as at Black Girl in Tech on Instagram and other socials. Diamond is a senior infrastructure systems engineer for the Woodruff Art Center in Atlanta, Georgia. She graduated from Virginia State University with a bachelor's in computer information systems and now has over 12 years of experience in the tech field. Diamond now mentors students and graduates who are looking to find their way into tech. Black Girl in Tech was created to shed light in the tech fields that are not mainstream. We're excited to have both of y'all as part of our panel discussion today. So the first question we would like to ask y'all are, what prompted you to become a tech social influencer? And we can start this question off with Trey.
Yeah, so I guess for me personally, I kind of stumbled onto it. It wasn't really the goal to begin with, but I had such a strong passion for tech to begin with, just from being around it for so long. My mother was into computers as well. So I felt like with the emergence of social media, it made it easier for me to reach a wider audience and kind of get my voice out and let it be known for people of color to see us like, hey, we can do this as well. So it was never really in the plans, but it just kind of fit well by the time I was able to get on YouTube and Instagram, and it just kind of went from there.
What about you, Diamond?
For me, I had already been on YouTube when I was in college, trying to do beauty influencing like everyone else. And I realized it wasn't for me. And when I realized that there wasn't as much information about other tech roles, there was a lot of information about like programming, things like that, but nothing that I was really interested in. So I just wanted to have another source for someone else who's looking for that information. So social influencing was easier to put the information out there.
Okay, so our next question is, a lot of our members wanted to know, what is your daily/weekly routines when it comes to balancing your job and work and your social media? We can start off with Diamond this time.
I'm still working on that. But my weekly routine is I try to get my day, my work at my regular job done kind of early in the day, and then I plan out, what I'm gonna do or what I plan to give out a lot of guides. So I just kind of think about how I can give out the guides easier through my social media, and I plan that every week or every other week.
Is your routine similar, Trey, or is it different?
Yeah, it's for me, mine just kind of hectic. So like I as of late, I try to like do all my social media planning like on the weekends, like have all the content ready. That way, like during the week, I could just drop it like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or something like that. Um, but like my work schedule gets kind of busy, so I know that if I'm kind of late on something at work, then I may not be able to get to my social media, and then that it kind of looks tacky in my opinion. So I try to prepare all that during the weekend, and then just drop it throughout the week. So far it's been going pretty good, but that's kind of my strategy right now.
That's a great strategy, I would say. So next question is, what challenges do you all face being a tech social influencer? Trey, you can start with this one.
That's a good question. Some challenges that I face being a tech social influencer. Is really like, I guess, the the representation, like not seeing too many people like me doing what I'm doing. So it's like, in a sense, I'm creating the blueprint. I don't really have a blueprint to follow. Like in other professions, you can see, like if you're trying to be a doctor, you've probably seen a Black doctor that you kind of grew up aspiring to be, or if you see a Black lawyer, you see that and kind of follow their footsteps. But there's not too many of us in this space as of right now. It's growing, but it's still kind of rare. So there's no blueprint per se. So that's really the challenge for me, is trying to figure out, am I doing this right? But whenever you're creating the blueprint, it's really just you creating it. So it's a gift and a curse, but that's probably the challenge that I've faced the greatest, is trying to make sure I'm doing it right, taking the right steps.
What about you, Diamond?
So as for me, one of my big challenges still is to find the best way to show my work, because a lot of my work is very classified. Um, it's not much I can really show without kind of showing information that's private. So that's why I try to figure out a lot of alternatives in doing that. And I do offer mentoring and stuff, but I can't mentor everyone. So that's one of the challenges. So
That's interesting. You bring up the mentoring. I'm actually a mentor myself, and I have to tell myself the same thing. You can't mentor everybody, Malaya, but I try to help as many people as I can. So we're going great so far. So on the flip side, what are the benefits of being a tech social influencer? Trey, would you like to go for this one first?
Oh yeah, I can do that. My bad. The benefits of being a tech social influencer, obviously, the audience that I can reach, because now I can reach. Oh, now I'm able to connect with more people than I ever imagined. Like even being able to do this, if I wasn't in tech and on social media, then I would have never came across this platform to be able to speak to you all today. So I guess the biggest benefit is actually reaching a wider audience. And another benefit is being able to see how I work when it comes to like planning content. I used to be kind of all over the place with what I would put out, but now that I'm a social influencer, I kind of have to organize how I'm giving my content and make it presentable, make sure it's readable, understandable. And I always feel like if I can explain it to a child, then I'm doing it right. If I can explain it to like a 5-year-old, then I'm not breaking it down well enough. So that's the benefits, is really seeing the audience that I'm reaching and then how to better organize my content.
Is it the same benefits for you, Diamond, or is it a little bit different?
Yeah, pretty much like the exact same thing. I do say too, I've met a lot of other people, especially in the Atlanta area, just through my social media. So that's a benefit, especially with, everyone's being so separated. I mean, it's obviously changing a little bit now, but um, there's a benefit in meeting other people that are like you, because even just in my job, I mean, I can't say that I've worked with another woman um, in tech, especially in my role. So just meeting other people is really a really good benefit from that.
Great. So this is the last prepared question I have for y'all. So what is some advice you would give someone who is considering becoming a tech influencer themselves?
For me personally, I would say make sure that whatever you're doing, it's unique to you, because with social media there comes a lot of cloning and a lot of copying and a lot of, I want to be like this person because they're doing good. But I think finding your niche or niche, however you pronounce it, finding that and sticking with it and making it so that people identify your content with you specifically, that's one of the biggest things that'll help you out a lot. Otherwise, you'll get lost in the crowd and people will kind of forget what you were doing in the first place. So just being unique, being authentic, and being consistent with your content as well. Because a lot of people, once you become an influencer, they kind of depend on you to give content. So if you fall behind, they kind of feel like, dang, he wasn't serious in the first place, or she wasn't serious. So I'd say being authentic and being consistent are the two biggest things I would advise.
Yeah, I agree. And another thing is just being, I guess, very real. A lot of times we want to just show like the good sides of our jobs or our lives, but that's one of the things that I didn't realize, is that there are a lot of things that I came across in my career and things like that that I've never seen anyone else shed light on, and um, something I need to work on myself too. So it's just being real, um, not just, like he was saying, not being a clone, and just making it look pretty and things like that. And make sure your content is relevant and has something to help someone, not just putting out just information just because.
All right. So now real time. 1 second here. So now we'll open up the floor to our audience to ask any questions they have for y'all. So you can put them in a chat or raise your hand and I'll call you so you can verbally ask your question.
Yeah, I can go first. Thank you guys so much for dropping your experience on all of us. It was super nice to hear. I was wondering what are like some ways that you guys, or tactics that you guys use to like continue to like grow your platform and like build your audience. So you guys continue like gaining followers and grow in like the tech influencer space.
So well, nice to meet you first of all, Devin. So you're saying, how do we grow our following essentially?
Yeah, nice to meet you as well. More or less, like, what tactics do you guys use? Like, yeah, like you mentioned, like growing your following. I guess like new ideas, like for posts. Like, what like gives you like what do you use for inspiration to like continue like making unique content to continue to grow? If that kind of made sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, as far as like coming up with content and just making sure it's unique. I'm sorry, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. As far as like making like the content, like what I come up with, it really just comes down to like whatever I'm working on at the moment. I'm sorry, I'm at the coffee shop right now. I feel like it's loud.
You're
I
good.
hear you. I can barely even hear it.
Okay, okay. But I really just kind of like whatever I'm working on, because I work on mobile apps all the time. So I kind of just like to document the process and make that my content. I don't really like to put out things that I think someone would like. It's more so, hey, what am I working on? Just document it. And, kind of to Diamond's point, if they can see the bad side, the hard work, the stuff that doesn't shine like diamonds, if it's outside of the pretty stuff, it comes off more authentic. So when it comes to like that, I just try to document everything I'm doing, from staying up to 3 a.m. working on an app or designing the mock-ups for an app. Just from every step, I just want to make sure that you are on this journey with me. And then I kind of just put that out. And as of late, or ever since I started, people have kind of gravitated to that. And that's kind of been my formula for creating my content.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
For myself, I find content with a lot of the questions I get. I get a lot of DMs, questions from friends and family in person that they pretty much have the same questions. And it's not always something that I can give in one, in one paragraph. So I found ways to kind of break it down. And so I have already an idea of how I'm going to give that information out to help the next person. So I've created like guides and things like that. I mentioned that before, but that is the idea of how I put my information out there. It's more just helpful information.
Awesome. Thank you so much, both of you.
Are there any more questions in the audience? Well, I have a question for both of you. Do you think your content, how I'm phrase this? Hold on. Do y'all think that your content will evolve over time while your career is evolving? Like, let's say, I think Trey, you focus mainly on like Flutter development now, but let's say like you go in something totally different. Will you like shift or continue to produce content surrounding about Flutter development?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I'm kind of going through that right now as we speak. So I think to be successful in life in general, you got to evolve. So that is my goal. Like right now, I do 3D printing as well. So I'm trying to kind of transition into more of a tech head, like a tech liaison versus just Flutter development. So that way I'm also touching things with engineering and mobile app development. So I don't want to pigeonhole myself, because then I'll get stagnant and then I'm not going to be relevant, you know what I'm saying, so to speak. So I definitely plan to evolve with everything I'm doing, and just trying to stay innovative, trying to stay ahead of the curve and make my content expandable versus just pigeonhole myself. So long answer short, yes, I do want to evolve.
Thank you.
So for me, yes, same answer. I do believe my content will evolve over time. So because my social media is kind of, like I said, like a long guide, I kind of want to start from the basics and kind of grow my, kind of like I'm teaching the people that are there now with me, kind of growing with me. So as I get more into like automation and things like that, they'll learn that too. And if it's someone new comes through, they can go and see all of the old stuff and kind of, get up that point if that's what their goal is. But yes, so I want to evolve with my content so that I'm not consistently putting out the same information.
Thank y'all both for answering my question. I think we have a question in chat. What has been your favorite content you produced / created so far?
So I'll go. So I spent a very long time creating a like I said, like a study guide for intro people. So it has like maybe 50 videos that I've researched as far as like the process and think of the words, but they're in order basically. And then I'm still creating a certification guide for those who want to complete that guide as well. So it took me a long time. I'm really proud of that. And it's actually been easier to send that out to people who ask me questions instead of just, like I said, just answering little
For me personally, it would probably have to be on my Instagram. I recently started doing like these reels where it's only like 60 seconds of me just kind of explaining like a snippet of like Flutter development. And so I kind of learned that in this new age of technology, people, they get kind of bored after like 1 minute of content, unless they're really into it. Like if you have a diehard core fan base, then they'll watch a 15, 20-minute video. But for a new person coming to your page, they're like, you got about 60 seconds to attract me. So with the reels, I just been doing like 60 seconds of trying to explain something in 60 seconds. So it's real fast, but I try to cover as much as I can in that time frame. So it's a challenge, but those are usually the videos that get the most views from people on my Instagram, because now I'm attracting the people who are already following me, plus new people who are like, well, what is Flutter? Okay, I can watch this. It's real quick. So that's probably my favorite content that I've created so far. And now I'm trying to figure out, how to evolve that, of course, like still keep it under 60, but maybe explain something more or something new that I haven't really touched before. So that's my favorite. That's a good question, by the way.
Yes, it was. Thank you, Kendall, for that question. Do we have any more questions in the audience? You can come off mute if you want to answer your question as well. Okay, well, it looks like that's all the questions we have for you all today. Thank you all once again for both being here and being a part of this conference. Feel free to drop your socials in the chat, of course, for people to connect with you and see your content as well. Thank you. And this concludes the panel discussion number 5 of this year's tech conference. We'll see y'all back at 2:15 for our final workshop of the conference this year. All right.
Thank you for having us, everybody, and have a great weekend.
You too.
All right, bye.